Hi everyone, I've decided to create a video on the differences between syntropic agriculture and permaculture for two main reasons. First, there is a lack of information on the internet comparing these two systems, and second, I hope this video will help you understand which system might work best for you if you want to apply one of them. So please note that I am a certified permaculture designer and consultant, so any information I present on syntropic agriculture comes from online research. So let's start with permaculture. What is it? The term permaculture was coined by Bill Mollison and David Holmgren in the 1970s, inspired by traditional and indigenous farming practices along with holistic design principles. Permaculture aims to harmonize people and their environment to provide food through backyard gardens, homesteads, and farms. Additionally, it incorporates elements of energy, shelter, water collection, waste management, animal husbandry on pastures and rangelands, sustainable aquaculture, and community development. So what is syntropic farming? So syntropic farming is a method developed by Swiss scientist and farmer Ernst Gotch in 1980s in Brazil, drawing heavily on his observations of natural ecosystems, particularly tropical forests. In syntropic farming, different layers of trees, perennial plants, and annual plants are planted closely together to create systems that look like forests. This system helps capture the most sunlight and produce a lot of plant material. And the plants and trees are chosen based on two main ideas, using different layers of space, like tall trees, shrubs, and ground plants, and their growth over time, so choosing plants that grow first and which come later. And what these systems have in common. So both systems focus on regenerating soil health, increasing biodiversity, and enhancing ecosystem functions. Both emphasize mimicking natural processes and working with natural cycles. Both promote use of polyculture, so growing multiple crops in the same space to reduce pests and diseases. Both systems use mulch to suppress weeds, retain soil moisture, and to add organic matter to the soil. And in both systems, tillage is reduced or eliminated to preserve soil structure and microbial life. And both systems incorporate trees into agricultural landscapes to provide multiple benefits. And we'll talk more about food forests in both setups later. What about the differences? So both have different foundational concepts. Syntropic farming is based on principles of ecological succession, stratification, and the dynamics of natural ecosystems. And permaculture is rooted in three core ethics: care for the earth, care for people for sure, and a set of design principles that guide sustainable living and agriculture. When it comes to design and implementation, syntropic farming emphasizes the structured layering of plants according to their successional stages and natural strata. And permaculture, on the other hand, uses zoning based on the frequency of use and sector analysis. So environmental factors like wind, wildfires, floods, sun angles, water flows, pollution, dust, noise, and other external forces. In syntropic farming, you need to incorporate frequent pruning to manage biomass, improve light conditions, and add organic matter to the soil. And in permaculture, we use pruning but not as intensively or systematically as in syntropic farming. In syntropic farming, soil regeneration is done through dense planting and continuous organic matter addition. And permaculture uses a wider range of techniques such as composting, mulching, cover cropping, and animal integration. In syntropic farming, mulch and high shade species are primarily used for water management to retain soil moisture. In contrast, permaculture employs a comprehensive approach to water management, incorporating rainwater harvesting systems and earthworks to ensure even and slow water distribution across the landscape. And finally, permaculture explicitly incorporates social and ethical dimensions, including community resilience, equitable resource distribution, and social justice, whilst syntropic farming primarily focuses on ecological and agricultural goals. Now, let's focus on who can apply these systems. So syntropic farming was developed in Brazil, so in tropical climate, but it is claimed that the system with some variations can be adapted to temperate climates. Permaculture practices, on the other hand, can be applied in a variety of climates, including deserts, and the designers are trained to create systems that match the exact site conditions, including climate, topography, soil, sun angles, extreme weather events, historic rainfall events, and more. Since syntropic farming deals only with agroforestry, we will now compare it to permaculture food forest. So in permaculture, rows are typically aligned along the contour to maximize water retention as it runs off perpendicular to the contour lines. Occasionally, rows may be positioned slightly off contour towards the dry ridges to address specific site conditions. In permaculture, the aim is to create 7 layers of a food forest, so canopy trees, understory trees, shrubs, herbaceous layer, ground covers, root crops, and vines to mimic natural forest structure. In the first stage of planting, hardy pioneers are introduced to break the soil compaction, improve the soil structure, and get them ready for mulch production. And the productive trees and other layers of food forest are therefore planted at least a year after the hardy pioneers were established. While creating food forest, plant communities called guilds are planned that support each other through complementary functions like nutrient cycling, pest control, and structural support. And permaculture emphasizes the potential to create microclimates within your site. For example, once you have established native and hardy species, you can diversify your produce by introducing plants that typically grow outside your hardiness zone, cultivating them in areas where you have created favorable microclimates. For example, planting the citrus tree near a south-facing wall to maximize exposure to sunlight and warmth. And moving on to syntropic farming, in terms of row orientation, the preferred direction to plant the tree rows is north-south. This is for maximum solar absorption from morning to evening. And in syntropic agriculture, the plants are introduced based on their successional stages, classified as placenta, secondary, climax, or transitional. As a result, you plant species in steps. So in placenta stage, you've got annual plants. In secondary stage, you have trees and shrubs of short and medium life cycle. In climax, you have long plant life cycle, and in transitional stage you have very long plant life cycle. In syntropic agriculture, you also incorporate stratified planting, which are vertical layers called emergent, high plants, medium, low plants, and ground cover to maximize light capture and resource use. And there is a specific recipe for density of plants in each strata. So emergent species occupy approximately 20% of space, canopy species approximately 40%, medium strata approximately 60%, lower layer approximately 80% of space, and the ground cover species approximately 15 to 20% occupation. So who should choose which system? So let's start with permaculture. Permaculture is ideal for those looking to create integrated, self-sustaining systems that include not just food production, but also elements of housing, energy, and community. Permaculture is also ideal for people interested to work with varied climates and landscapes. Also, for those who have limited resources, may benefit from permaculture's emphasis on creating low-input, self-maintaining systems over time. Finally, permaculture is ideal for those interested in building resilient systems that can withstand environmental and economic fluctuations over the long term. So who should choose syntropic farming? Syntropic farming, developed in Brazil, is particularly well suited to tropical and subtropical climates, where rapid plant growth and biodiversity can be leveraged effectively. And the techniques used in syntropic farming, such as dense planting and frequent pruning, benefit from high rainfall areas where water is abundant. In humid conditions, the composition process is really fast, so you cannot expect the same effect of growth in a different climate. And because syntropic farming involves intensive management practices, including regular pruning and planting, it is suitable for those who have access to sufficient labor and resources to manage these activities. And if you want to apply syntropic farming in temperate or arid climate, you should consider other aspects of land management covered by permaculture, such as water distribution across the landscape. And please note that a row orientation north to south isn't beneficial for food forest in climate with dry periods and with no rainfall, For example, in Mediterranean climate, it is better to orient rows east to west. If you decide to pursue any of these projects, consult with an expert in permaculture or syntropic farming. Both systems are complex and it's impossible to take shortcuts. I wish everyone success in their endeavors. Both systems significantly enhance soil health and local growing conditions, helping our planet to thrive. And the more projects like these we undertake globally, the faster our planet will heal. So don't wait, spread the word, share this video with your friends and family, and give them hope for the future. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you got value. Thanks so much for watching.